Oh, hi, Smogs. How's your sex life? Probably not very good with global pandemic, if you even had one. But nevertheless, WrestleMania, guys! I'm back. I'm better than ever. Uh, God, what can I say about WrestleMania Night 1? WrestleMania 36, because you remember, WrestleMania is so big this year, it's too big for one night. It has to be two nights. AKA, we gotta tape it like 2 weeks beforehand, but nevertheless, and I get the reason for it was, oh my god! There's an obvious reason behind it, okay? So calm down, okay? Before anybody asks, no, I didn't watch the pre-show. I didn't watch Drew Gulak versus Cesaro, even though I think Cesaro won, and I think tomorrow night is supposed to be Liv Morgan versus Natalia, which screams out random, which, I don't know, what's more random, that or Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley? That's for tomorrow, but anywho. Night 1 of WrestleMania 36. And this show itself wasn't bad, especially for a show that has like little to no expectations for, again, obvious reasons. It's supposed to be Raymond James Stadium. It can't because of a freaking global pandemic, for crying out loud, COVID-19, aka the coronavirus, and so on and so forth. But let's kick it off, right, shall we? With a positive note. We had the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, player. Uh, Women's Tag Team titles, that is. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, former champs, versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. Now, when was the last time Asuka and Kairi Sane even defended these titles? Wasn't it like TLC? And I think they defended it once against Charlotte and Becky? Because I honestly can't remember any other time that these two women defended these belts. It's been over a year since the belts got created, and you know, oh hell, didn't I tell you it would be pointless? But nevertheless, this was just really weird. First off, obviously, we're already seeing Raw, SmackDowns, and NXT with no fans. But the fact that you have your biggest show of the year, WrestleMania, not just taped 2 weeks prior, basically, but no audience, is just really weird. And I get why it's done. By the way, shout out to still it being WrestleMania Pirates of the Caribbean edition, because my god, the intro to this show was just screams out Pirates of the Caribbean bootleg. But back to the first match. It was just very weird, you know. And because there was no fans, 90% of this match, I kid you not, was just Kairi Sane and Asuka screaming and yelling. Screaming and yelling for like, again, 90% of the match in Japanese. I don't judge, obviously it's their native language, but it was just like, if you had headphones, you were the real MVP tonight. If you didn't, things could have got awkward. But nevertheless, this match was kind of for the first half. The second half, meaning like the final like 3 minutes of it, kind of picked up. It actually was pretty good. A kind of a botch by Alexa Bliss, Twisted Bliss. It kind of barely hit Kairi Sane, but Kairi still sold like death. I don't know if they had to reshoot that like 3 or 4 times, but maybe that was the best one. But nevertheless, Alexa and Nikki Cross become new women tag team champions for the second time, I do believe. And yeah, it was actually thought Asuka and Kairi was going to retain. So seeing these two win was actually a surprise. But you know, I don't know, maybe. And to me, someone brought this up on Twitter. Alexa Bliss being in a tag team, I think has been a blessing for her because obviously everyone knows her injuries, her concussions, her neck problems. So the idea that her having a tag team partner doing a little less of the work prolongs her career a little bit more. So not bad. So next we have Elias versus King Baron Corbin. And I was really confused about this because I think I remember seeing just a couple weeks ago on SmackDown like a clip of it on Twitter. Didn't Baron Corbin kill Elias? Like some Dark Souls Mortal Kombat style? Anywho, yeah, so Elias back from the dead. We'll get to that at the end of this video. But nevertheless, this match was just there. I know these two have been having like a feud off and on for like the last month or so, but yeah. Elias wins via roll-up. So, the dude that retired Kurt Angle, a Hall of Famer, a legend, 1 year later gets rolled up by Elias. And I like Elias, but damn. Next we go with the Raw Women's Title match. Oh my god. Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. And this is when you could tell the show was like dipping. Like the first match was okay. Elias Baron Corbin, this, oh my god. So Becky Lynch makes her stupid entrance via monster truck. I know the monster truck would have been hilarious actually. No, excuse me. She wishes. It was a freaking like diesel truck. So I'm confused. And I wrote it on Twitter. Links down in the description box. Is she trying to be Stone Cold? Is she trying to be Diesel? What's her thing here? I know she's trying to be cool and edgy. She's a man. Becky Lynch. You dope. You weirdo. It's just, this ain't it, Chief. I've been done with this man gimmick for like a year now. Can't she just be that cute steampunk pun-loving Irish lass kicker? No, she has to be the mom. Oh my god. It's so cringe. Like, I don't hate the woman behind the Becky Lynch character at all. I think she's, from my hair, she's an amazing human being. And she's really kind and hardworking. But my god, this gimmick is just, back to this. So Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. And wasn't Shayna at one point, like for one night only, a vampire in this feud? I'm not saying it's a bad thing they got rid of that, but just checking, you know. So yeah, Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler, you know, they made Shayna kill everyone and their mothers, literally, in the Elimination Chamber just for this match. Shayna basically kills Becky for a majority of the match. Becky gets a little bit of offense, and then Shayna looks like she's about to finish Becky off. No, just kidding. Becky Lynch goes down, flips back, and turns a 3 count out of nowhere because she reversed the Kerfuda clutch, I'm trying to say that correctly, from Shayna Baszler. And she just randomly wins. Lol. So you make Shayna Baszler into this killing motherfucking machine to get jobbed out to Becky in like a 5-minute match. This was Charlotte. This was Roman Reigns. Y'all would lose your minds. Because Becky gets a free pass. And I like Becky. But even I have to call BS on. Oh my god. That woman's gonna hold that. Isn't she? Actually, no. Because I remember, I think it was like a few months ago, some rumor that supposedly Becky and Seth were supposed to go on a hiatus or whatever, on vacation. I guess planning their wedding. I don't know. But with the global pandemic right now, planning a wedding might not be the wisest idea. You might have to hold off that for at least a little while. But again, moving on. Say that's the real heel of professional wrestling in the world in general. In all seriousness. Fuck COVID-19. So next we have the Intercontinental title match: Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn, aka El Generico versus Bryan Danielson. Freaking ROH Shine Belt, whatever Pride Belt. I don't know. Someone was mentioning it. I don't know. I didn't watch ROH. Freaking hell. So Drew Gulak, I guess, is paired with Daniel Bryan because they have a mutual respect for each other despite feuding like a month ago. I don't know, but nevertheless, I did not care for this. Sami Zayn looks like he just came off of a bootleg freaking King Kong reboot, and it's just whatever. I mean, him, Cesaro, and Nakamura are a faction, I guess. I have no idea. This match I didn't care about. Sorry. I'm sure it was a classic. I just did not care. Sammy got a haluva kick literally out of nowhere to win. And the dude who was big time heel facing Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania for the WWE title last year loses to Uber driver 1 year later. Yeah, that's what he gets for self-quarantine, yeah. A little rusty on that, but I think it did a pretty decent job. So next year, the triple threat match for the SmackDown Tag Team title player. Yeah, Kofi Kingston versus Jimmy Uso versus John Morrison. Now, of course, this is originally supposed to be New Day versus the Usos versus Miz and Morrison, but I believe the Miz got sick and the Miz got kicked off the card for obvious reasons. So that went Big E or Xavier Woods along with Jey Uso. So then you have a triple threat singles ladder match for the tag titles. When I heard that, I just thought of Vince Russo, bro. Hey, bro, we get them triple threat titles, bro, when we put them in a tag title. I swear to God, bro, it's gonna be amazing, bro. Okay, swerve. But this was at this point match of the night. This is when to me I think the card picked up when night one of WrestleMania, hosted by Gronk, who looked like a buffoon. All right, this is coming from a Patriot fan, and Gronk looked like a buffoon. I'll get to that later. That should be a tag on him. I'll get to that later. So this match happened, and these guys killed each other. This is what I picture what Ring of Honor has been the last at least 5 years. A bunch of dudes in the ring killing each other, and no one is watching. Like no one's in the ring. But this was crazy. These guys, to me, the MVP of this match would be John Morrison, because this is when he really shined, especially since the first time, because he's only been back for a couple months or so. So this was his shine, just in case you forgot about John Morrison, or maybe you haven't checked up on John Morrison the last few years. He looked really good in this match. Jimmy Uso was hilarious. There's one spot where Kofi Kingston's trying to get out of the ladder, but then I think Jimmy Uso hit him with the ladder, or he slid into the ladder into Kofi Kingston. And Jimmy Uso's he dead, he dead, boy. It was great. It was hilarious. I cracked up laughing. But yeah, this was a fun match. Basically, the ending of the match was Kofi Kingston and Jimmy Uso are climbing up to the ladder. They grab the ring, or the brass ring, I guess you could say, of the tag title belts, and the belts fall off. And they're like, what the hell? And Morrison has fallen off the ladder as well, but the belts have fallen off with him. So your winner and still tag team champions, John Morrison, who was representing not just himself, of course, but also the Miz as well. So tag team champs retain their tag titles in a pretty fun, entertaining match. So this was, again, at the time, match of the night. So you had Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins comes out wearing a religious, priest kind of robe, and I'm thinking, of course, only WWE would make a known atheist to literally look like Jesus himself. But for me, I didn't really care for this match. I know this whole story was, Kevin Owens wanted to have his WrestleMania moment. He hasn't had one yet, and he wanted to take down Seth Rollins. But, he had it, and, during this match, you had Rollins get DQ'd because he hit the ring. He hit Kevin Owens with the ring bell. Ref called for the match, and I'm going, wow, you built all this for that. I, along with many other people on social media, aka Twitter, immediately went over to bash the hell out of this, but no, swerve. Kevin Owens gets on the mic when Rollins is going up the ramp and says, really, bitch? And I'm thinking, oh my god, this company and the word bitch, I get it, they're a PG company, but they're so obsessive with this one word. So many other cuss/edgy words you could use, and bitch is the best one you can come up. Oh my god. Anywho, basically he calls him out for being a bitch and says, oh no, let's have a rematch right here, right now, no DQ. And Ron's like, okay, yeah, so magically Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins have booking powers. Lol. So Rollins and Kevin Owens have their no DQ match. This one obviously was shorter than being tired. It makes sense. This is just basically brawling out to the outside of the ring. Rollins gets knocked down on the announcer's table. Kevin Owens jumps literally on top of the freaking WrestleMania sign, does an elbow drop, knocks him out, brings him into the ring, hits him with the stunner. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens wins. Kevin Owens gets his moment, gets a victory. This was better. Short and sweet. Had a cool little, holy shit moment, and better. So then we have, speaking of Gronk and Mojo Rawley, they're interrupted by the one R-Truth. And Gronk goes to try to pin R-Truth, gets booted out of the way by Mojo. That's right, Mojo Rawley turns heel again, this time on his best friend, Rob Gronkowski. And Mojo rolls up R-Truth right then and there. And I believe he comes a second time 24/7 champion. And yeah, by God, you son of a bitch, Mojo Rawley, turn your back on your best friend, Rob Gronkowski, all for the 24. You sicken me, Mojo. You sicken me. Moving on. I had Charlie Caruso backstage, aka the best moderator in First Take history. Molly who? Exactly. Talking to Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman doing his best ASMR impression because he was just like, Brock Lesnar, he's not part of this world. He's not a species. He's not human. He's gonna get Drew McIntyre tomorrow night at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Yeah. It's legit. That's just how quiet the fucking thing was. I don't know if it was meant to be. I assume it was supposed to be like that. Like, kind of creepy and whispering and ASMR. Weird. Anywho, we go for the match that no one asked for. The Universal title match, Braun Strowman versus Goldberg. Now, if you're probably confused, you're like, wait a minute, wasn't Roman Reigns, baby girl, supposed to be in this match? Yes. Roman had to pull out of the match due to, obviously, again, we're living in a global pandemic world, and as you probably know, Roman Reigns doesn't have the best immune system, fighting leukemia not once but twice, so obviously for health reasons for himself, his family, he had to back out of the match, and props to him. I know he got a lot of crap for it, but, well, it's Roman Reigns. But yeah, Braun Strowman's in here because apparently if you lose the IC title to Sami Zayn, you get rewarded a Universal title match at WrestleMania against frickin' Bill Goldberg, but that's just... So yeah, this match happened. It was short. Goldberg had like 3 spears. Braun Strowman sold none of them. And then Strowman had to hit not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 freaking, power slams, and then he wins. Yes, Braun Strowman, for the first time ever, finally wins the world title, like 2 years too late. This is coming after him bashing on indie geeks because, lol, Braun Strowman's in WWE and they're not. He's stupid. I'm not saying the indie geeks are stupid, I'm saying Braun's stupid for bringing that up and whatever. So yeah, Braun's the world champion. Yeah, he's the Universal champ. At least he's not a part-timer? Hey, and I said it on Twitter also. I'm actually glad Roman wasn't part of this, obviously, not just because of health reasons, but because at least when Roman gets his moment, he's going to be Braun for the belt. At least he'll be in front of a crowd, most likely, and he'll be deserving. And this was just last minute. Ugh. And then finally, what this whole video is basically based on right here. Basically the whole reason why I made this video. The Boneyard match between AJ Styles and The Undertaker. And this was freaking amazing. This was like Matt Hardy's Final Deletion and Lucha Underground hooked up with the WWE, had a baby, and this is what we got. This was amazing. Seriously. It's obviously pre-taped. They're in a freaking cemetery kind of venue. There's a hearse coming in. You think it's maybe The Undertaker. Out comes a coffin. No, lol, it's AJ Styles with this OC shirt, and he's laughing. He's like, hey, oh, you thought I was The Undertaker? You lied there? Where are you, Taker? Where are you, dead man? And out come, and you hear like a motorcycle go by. And out comes Biker Taker with freaking Metallica playing in the background, of course. You can't have Triple H on the show, but by God, we'll have freaking Metallica at WrestleMania. And, it was cool. It was cool having Metallica being played in the background, obviously. I'm sure Triple H had something to do with that. But it was cool to see Taker. And he had his, like, Ministry of Dark. It was really weird because he had, like, a Ministry of Darkness, like, vest. But he had, like, the Biker Taker, like, look. Like, the glasses, the bandana, the obviously the motorcycles, boo, kind of the pants as well too. So it's kind of like a hybrid of all his gimmicks based in one, basically. It was just cool to see. And at first I was like, okay, this American Badass Taker, and then when the match actually happened, I was like, yo, this is freaking Big Evil Taker, because he's like a heel. This match, he's a dick, AJ Styles. Well deserved, but I'm just saying, like, if you just never saw this feud, you're like, why is this Undertaker guy being a complete dick to AJ? But this was fun. AJ just trying to poke fun at the end, like, oh, Michelle, I'm cool. Oh, she's ruined your career. Look at you. You're not the dead man no more. You're this. What is this? And it was just great. Them two just beating the hell out of each other. But I think a brick was used at one point, and I mean, this was just back and forth. Then they eventually go to like this barn, and then out comes Gallows and Anderson. The OC there, the club. By the way, he had JBL on commentary. I almost forgot to mention that Mago tonight, but this was fun. This was straight up fun because once Gallows and Anderson are beating up on the Undertaker, you have these druids out of nowhere, like bright lights and everything, come out of the gates of like the barn, and it was so crazy. And you had like this bad horror music going on in the background, but it was just perfect. You had the dialogue of Taker and AJ going, trash talking one another basically. And it wasn't until like where it looked like Taker was about to be buried alive, because I'm thinking, okay, there's no referees. Oh, there's not a referee in general. How's this match gonna end? And I see a grave there. I'm going, oh my god, this is a buried alive match. And I honestly can't think of one time Taker's ever won a buried alive match. They usually end up with him taking the L. So I'm thinking, okay, Taker's definitely losing this match. So, Taker eventually gets hit in the grave, thanks to Gallows and Anderson and him. And then he does this whole, like, teleportation BS, because AJ's so cocky. He gets into, like, this bulldozer or whatever. He's like, oh, I'm about to bury the Undertaker alive, type of deal. And then Taker pops out of nowhere, and he's like, crap. At that point, Taker beats the living hell out of AJ. I forget, this was, I think, right after, I want to say that Taker, like, hit the tombstone on Carl Anderson on the barn and then threw Gallows off. And then he choke slammed Styles from the barn, on top of the barn to the outside. And then at that point, freaking Taker's like, boy, you want to talk about my wife again there, boy? How old am I, boy? What's my age, boy? Do you know where you are, boy? Like, it was freaking great. I know a lot of people hated Biker Taker, and they're like, oh, this is stupid, or whatever. I always liked Biker Taker. Any Carnation Taker, I thought he was cool. That's just me. I don't know, Taker fanboy, call me, I don't care. But this was just really cool to see. And then Taker knocks out AJ. I think he hit him with the, I think it was either choke slam or the tombstone, and then knocked him into the graveyard. Taker gets in the tractor slash bulldozer, and he just buries AJ alive. And then he takes out the, there's like a, I guess there was like a cloth on top of the actual tombstone, and it says like AJ Styles, 1977 to 2002, rest in peace. And then you had like, the doom 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 doom. You had like Metallica playing in the background. And he had a gong, just in case you didn't know if Taker won or yet. There was a freaking gong in the background. Taker put his bandana back on. And all you can see is AJ's fist being shown, like punching through the dirt. And by the way, this is all after Taker's playing mind games with the AJ before he buries him. And he's all like, oh, you think I'm going to bury you alive, boy? No, you gave me the biggest fight of my life, boy. No one ever did this like you. No, you did good. You did good, boy. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, AJ. Proud of you, you son of a bitch. And again, this was right after he flipped off AJ, which I cracked up laughing, because apparently them two, as opposed supposedly born-again Christians, are perfectly okay with flicking each other off and saying bitch and ass, like every other sentence. But anywho, good thing tomorrow is Sunday morning church. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, Taker buries AJ alive. You have this, like, purple logo of his appear in the background. He has some like pyro going off, and Metallica's Now That We're Dead is blaring out in the background, and he just rides away out of the cemetery, and I'm going, that's how you end WrestleMania. Freaking hell. That was great. For not just as this match itself, this Boneyard match, but this night overall in the event of WrestleMania. Again, it's only night one. Night two could be a complete cluster for all we know. We still got the freaking Firefly Funhouse match. But this was great. When you come out to no expectations and this is what you get, this was fun. This is what I felt like a kid watching wrestling again. This made me feel like I was like 9, 10 years old, like watching. I hate to say it, Attitude Era, because it was just so weird and so corny. And I get it; it was cheesy and corny, just like the Final Deletions, kind of like a lot of Lucha Underground was again. But this was just fun. This was entertaining. This was, again, I didn't even care who won this match. I was just like, just when it ended, I was like, damn, it ended. But it ended good. It didn't go too long, didn't go too short, but it ended just right. So this was fun. And props to, again, I said it on Twitter, and I've said it so many years now, even on this channel, when WWE isn't lazy and they actually use their mind and do think of something creative, they usually get a positive reaction, a positive response. And this is a prime example of it. And there's just many. The Nexus angle for this a little bit, and there's a bunch of other things too, on top of my head, that when they put their minds together and they actually show that they care, they can come up with something cool. And again, this was corny, I know. You have people who haven't watched wrestling, or at least WWE, in so long, in years, and maybe even a decade, were watching this because of how crazy it was. This match in particular, I believe, because of how crazy, how corny, and how fun this was. They were like, hey man, did you check this out? And it was just cool. It was just cool. I can't praise it enough. So honestly, this match, I might not remember this WrestleMania for a while, for at least in a few years, for, again, obvious reasons, what's going on with the world and what's happening, but if there's anything I'm going to remember from this mania, it's probably going to be this match. Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, so yeah, AJ's dead. I don't know how they're going to bring him back. They're going to show footage of Anderson and Gallows trying to bury him out of there. I don't know, shuffling off. But yeah, this was great, and props to WWE. So basically, the first half of this night, Mania, was kind of meh. Like, it wasn't great, but I wouldn't say it was horrible either. There was some kind of stuff, but then there was some passable stuff, and then the second half really picked it up. Basically, from the ladder match on, it really picked up. The Braun Strowman Goldberg match was, it was what it was, put it that way. But it was short and sweet. It got to the point, thank God. You're welcome. See what I did there? But anyways, that's all really for night one. And I know, God, 28 minutes just for night one. Imagine night two. Okay, so that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoy this video. I can't wait till night two, because now I'm worried. Because first I had like no expectations, and now it's like you leave us with like an adrenaline run. So hopefully night two is just as fun, if not better. So that's it for me. I'm out, and I really miss sports. Live sports. Feels bad, man.